Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the general characteristic features of the gymnosperms. This is the continuation of the part 1. Here in this, beside tracheids, vessels are found in natum. Here generally in all gymnosperms there is the tracheids, xylem parenchyma as well as xylem fibers are found in the gymnosperms. But here generally the vessels are not found. It is absent in the gymnosperms because these are very advanced members of the xylem elements. So vessels are found only in the angiosperms, but there is one exception, that is the natum. In natum plant, here vessels are seen. Then coming to the phloem tissue, generally phloem tissue, it contains the sieve elements, phloem parenchyma as well as phloem fibers. These three phloem elements are found in the gymnosperms, whereas the companion cells are absent. Companion cells are a type of the phloem elements which are absent in the gymnosperms. Here instead of companion cells there are the specific type of the cells which are known as the albuminous cells. Albuminous cells are seen in the some gymnosperms. It is similar to companion cells, and these albuminous cells are associated with the sieve elements. Then coming to the leaf structure, here the leaves in the gymnosperms, it shows the certain xerophytic characters. Among these, the first is the thick cuticle. What is cuticle here? Cuticle, it is the thick covering on the leaf which is above the epidermis. Here it protects the loss of water. Generally water will get evaporated from the leaf surface, but here due to presence of this thick cuticle, it reduces the rate of water loss. Then the next is sunken stomata. Here what is sunken stomata? Stomata, these are the small pore like structures which are found on the leaves. Here the main function of the stomata is exchange of gases. Apart from that, it helps in the transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of vapors from the leaves. This is the transpiration. So here the stomata, it will take part in the transpiration. Here how the structure of stomata is? It is sunken, means it is not it is closed, it is not exposed to the outer environment, it is covered, sunken. Okay, so here due to presence of the sunken stomata, it reduces the rate of transpiration. So here it can reduce the loss of water. Then the third one is the transfusion tissue. There is a specific type of tissue which is found in the gymnosperm. It is known as the transfusion tissue because in the leaves of the gymnosperms there is no lateral veins. Okay, generally in the normal leaf it contains the midrib as well as the lateral veins, but here in the case of the gymnospermic leaves there is the absence of the lateral veins. Okay, so here apart from that, because due to absence of that, here there is the presence of the transfusion tissue. It helps in the transport of water as well as the food. This is the main function of the transfusion tissue. Then coming to the types of stomata. Here the stomata which performs the transpiration function, it is divided into the two types. The first one is the haplochelic stomata, the another one is the syndactylic stomata. Here based on the origin of this structure, based on the origin of the stomata are divided. Here the first type is the haplochelic stomata. Here in the case of the haplochelic stomata, the guard cells and subsidiary cells develop from the different mother cells. Here let us see first the structure of the stomata, how it is. Okay, this is the structure of the stomata. This is the small pore which is known as the stoma. Here it is covered by the two kidney shaped cells which are known as the guard cells, and which are further covered by the another cells. These are known as the subsidiary cells. All this stoma along with the guard cells and subsidiary cells, these are known as the stomatal apparatus. Okay, in the case of the haplocellic stomata, what we are saying that in this the guard cells and subsidiary cells, these are originated from the different mother cells. Okay, so there are the different mother cells by which the guard cells and subsidiary cells are originated. That is the first haplocellic stomata. Okay, here the haplocellic stomata, it is found in the coniferales and cycadales. These are the order of the gymnosperms which contain the haplocellic stomata. Then coming to the next type, that is the syndactylocelic stomata. In this type of stomata, both the guard cells as well as the subsidiary cells, these arises from the single mother cells, means a single type of mother cells. It will give rise to the both guard cells as well as subsidiary cells. Example for that is the Bennettitales. Here, if we compare these two type of the stomata, that is the haplocellic stomata as well as syndactylocelic stomata, among this syndactylocelic stomata, it is considered as the evolved type. It is the most advanced type than this haplocellic stomata. Then coming to the leaves, there are the two types of leaves found in the gymnosperms. First one the foliage leaves, another one is the scale leaves. Foliage leaves. How the foliage leaves are? These are the normal leaves which are green in color and it performs the photosynthesis. Then coming to the scale leaves. These are the leaves which are brown in color. Generally, the leaves will be green in color due to the presence of chloroplast. But in the case of the scale leaves, these are the brown in color. Means here the chloroplast is absent. So here it will not take part in the photosynthesis. Instead of that, it will give the protection to the plant. Then coming to the mesophyll tissue. Mesophyll tissue, it is seen in the leaves. It is further divided into the two tissues. What those are? That is the palisade tissue and the spongy tissue. Here, inside this particular vascular elements of the leaves, there is the Mizar condition is seen. In the Mizar condition, protoxylem is present towards the center. This condition is known as the Mizar condition. Then coming to the reproduction. In gymnosperms, reproduction will take place by the specific structures which are known as the cones. And here in gymnosperm, heterosporous condition is seen. It means that it produces the two kinds of the spores. Those are the microspores and megaspores. Here microspores, it will give rise to it will produces the pollen grains. Okay, megaspores, it will give rise to the eggs. So here these are present in the different sporangia. Okay, that is the on the megasporangia as well as microsporangia. Generally these cones are unisexual, means there are the different male as well as female cones are found. But here some exceptions are there in which both the cones are found on the same plant. Then except the cycas, all other gymnosperms have the non-motile male gametes. Generally the male gametes are non-motile in the gymnosperms, but except in the cycas. In the cycas plant, there is the motile male gametes are found. If we consider the shape of these particular cones, generally the male cones are very small. Male cones are smaller than the female cone. If we consider the size of the male and female cones are smaller than the female cones. Then the male cone, it contains the microsporangia. Here microsporangia, it is a structure which will produces the microspores. And where it is found? It is found on the abaxial surface of the microsporophyll. Here microsporophyll means it is a modified leaves. Here the modified leaves which produces the sporangia. These leaves are known as the microsporophyll. It develops the microsporangia. On this particular microsporangia, microspores are produced. Then coming to the megasporangia. Megasporangia, it is naked, means it is not covered with any covering, and it develops on the megasporophylls. Again, here the leaves are modified and it produces the megasporangia. In gymnosperms, in the ovary, there is the absence of the style and stigma. Generally, in the carpel, there are the three parts. What those are? That is the stigma, style and ovary. But in the case of the gymnosperm ovary, there is the absence of the style and stigma. Okay, here there are the these two structures are found in the angiospermic plants, but these are absent in the gymnosperms. Then coming to the ovules, here ovules are orthotropous. Here orthotropous means, see this structure, this is the example for the orthotropous ovule. Here it is a type of ovule in which the micropyle, chalaza and funicle are on the same plane, or you may call it as in the straight line. This micropyle, chalaza and funicle on the straight line, this type of ovule, it is known as the orthotropous ovule. Generally, this is very primitive type of ovule which is found in the gymnosperms. Then here the ovules are orthotropous and it is unitegmic. Unitegmic means here the ovules are covered with the only one single integument. So it is termed as unitegmic. But here there is one exception. What that is? In the case of the natum, there is the bitegmic ovules. Means here there are the two integuments found in the natum plant. Then coming to the pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollens from the stamens to the stigma. That is, the transfer of pollen is known as the pollination. Here in the case of the gymnosperms, pollination is anemophilous, means by wind the pollination will take place. Then coming to the fertilization, here the fertilization is siphonogynous, means here first, what is fertilization? Fertilization, it is the fusion between the male and female gametes. It is known as the fertilization. Here fertilization is siphonogynous. It means that male gametes are carried by the pollen tube. It means that when the pollen grains, when it reaches to the ovule, what happens there? It produces the pollen tube from where the pollen, that particular male gametes will get transferred to the egg cell. Then double fertilization is absent. Generally in the angiosperms, there is the double fertilization. It means that when the pollen grain germinates and it produces the two male gametes, among these two is first male gamete, it will fuses with the egg and it will give rise to the zygote. That is known as the true fertilization or the syngamy. Then another male gamete, it will fuses with the secondary nuclei which is found in the embryo sac and it will give rise to the endosperm, which is triploid in nature. But here in the case of the gymnosperms, double fertilization is absent here, but it is found in the ephedra. There is one exception, that is the ephedra, in which the double fertilization is seen. Then coming to the next, here endosperm is formed before fertilization, because here there is the absence of double fertilization. It means that there is the no fusion between the second male gamete and the secondary nuclei. So there is no formation of the endosperm after the double fertilization. So here the endosperm, it will develops before fertilization only, and it is always haploid. Here it is haploid, means here it is having a single set of chromosomes. Then the development, here the embryo development is meroblastic. From the zygote, as a result of the fertilization, we will get the zygote. That zygote, it will divide and gives rise to the embryo. How the development of embryo will take place? It is by the meroblastic. Meroblastic means here the small part of the zygote, it will develops into the embryo. This type of development of embryo is known as the meroblastic development. Then the next point is polyembryony. Here polyembryony means more than one embryo. Generally after fertilization zygote is produced. That zygote it will develop into the embryo. It means that from a single zygote it will give rise to the single embryo. But in this particular gymnosperms, here from a single zygote there is the development of the more than one embryos. So here the development of more than one embryo, this condition is known as the polyembryony. This polyembryony condition is common in the gymnosperms. Even though many embryos will be produced, but only one will survive and matures at the end. Okay, so here even though many embryos are developing, but only a single embryo it will get matured at the end. Here the female gametophyte is cellular in all except natum. Here in all type of gymnosperms the female gametophyte is cellular, having the cell-like structure inside the female gametophyte, whereas in the natum it contains the nuclear type of gametophyte. It means that inside the female gametophyte it contains the nuclei similar to the angiosperms. Here inside in the gymnosperms there is a specific structure which is known as the pollen chamber. Pollen chamber it is produced near the micropylar region of the ovule. Here what is the function of pollen chamber? As already we discussed that there is no stigma and style. Okay, there is no stigma to receive the pollen. So here there is a specific structure which is known as the pollen chamber. It is present in the micropylar region of the ovule. Okay, so this particular structure it receives the pollen and it stores the pollen grain till the fertilization takes place, because there is the time between the pollination and fertilization. So till fertilization the pollens get stored in this particular pollen chamber. Then coming to the next point, here in natum archegonia is absent. Here the archegonia, this is the structure of the female gametophyte. Generally it is found in the bryophytes, pteridophytes as well as in the gymnosperms, but here it is absent in the angiosperms. So here because the natum it is considered as the advanced type of gymnosperm, so here in natum archegonia is absent. It is similar to the angiosperms. Here coming to the number of cotyledons, here the 2 cotyledons are found in the cycas and many cotyledons are found in the pinus. It is up to 2 to 14 number. Then here after maturation the seeds get liberated by the air. Through the air the seeds get liberated. Then how the germination will take place? It is epigeal germination, means above the ground. When the seeds will get germinated, that cotyledons comes above the ground. So here coming the cotyledons above the ground, this type of germination is known as the epigeal germination. Then coming to the complete life cycle of the gymnosperms. Here the main plant body it is known as the sporophyte. It produces the male cone as well as female cone. Here which is having the microsporophyll and megasporophyll. These are nothing but the modified leaves which produces the microsporangia as well as megasporangia respectively. So it gives rise to the microsporangium and megasporangium. These microsporangium are nothing but the pollen sacs and megasporangium are nothing but the ovules. Inside the microsporangium and megasporangium there is the reduction division or meiosis will take place. As a result it produces the pollen grains, or you may call it as the microspores, and in the microsporangium it produces the megaspores or the eggs. Here the ploidy will be N, means here the haploid. Due to the reduction division or meiosis there is the reduction of number from the 2n to the n. So here due to the meiosis here the production of the haploid gametes will take place, that is the pollens and eggs. So this particular pollen it is known as the male gametophyte and the egg, it is known as the female gametophyte. And this particular, it will produces the male gametes and it produces the female gametes. Then what happens? Pollination will take place by the wind, and after pollination, that particular pollen, it will germinate, and here finally the male gametes, it reaches to the egg cell. As a result, the fertilization will take place. Here the siphonogamy will take place, means through the pollen tube, pollens are male gametes will be transported to the embryo egg cell. As a result, the fertilization will take place. There is the fusion between the male and female gametes. As a result of fertilization, we'll get the zygote, which is diploid, that is the 2n. That zygote, it will divide by the meroblastic division and it produces the embryo. That embryo, it will develop into the seed, and that particular seed, it will germinate and gives rise to the complete new plant of the sporophyte. So this is the overview or the complete life cycle of the gymnosperms. This is the complete life cycle of the gymnosperm. It starts from the sporophyte. It produces the male cones as well as the female cones. Then it produces the microsporangium, megasporangium, which produces the pollens as well as the eggs, and which is the male and female gametophyte. Then the fertilization will take place, then the development of the embryo, then the seed, then the germination will take place. Again the new plant, that is the new sporophytic plant, is developed. This is all about the general characteristic features of the gymnosperms. Thank you all.